I come to you in regards to the Ministry of British Columbia, also the racial discrimination I've been receiving, along with my child being in the care from the ministry. Also from the affiliated band that I'm from with their organization, and family favoritism going through the system. I'm a single father that's been fighting for his daughter for 6 weeks to be returned back to Saskatchewan, for her to be placed in a foster home back home in Saskatchewan. I'm considered to be her legal guardian back in Saskatchewan, but because I came here for a family emergency, circumstances have arose that gave the ministry here the right to take my daughter and apprehend her from me. I've been arguing with them for 6 weeks now to try and get my daughter placed back home with an approved foster home back home, but I've been denied that right. Also, that the worker here has been lying to me over a numerous times. I've been told many different stories from the workers here, plus the affiliated organization back home, which I am not allowed to disclose any names or information. I have seen my daughter go through a lot already in 6 weeks. She's been sick on a weekly basis, Also have addressed many concerns when I'm in my visits, and I do get denied my next visit after that, which seems unjustly, due to foster parent not being able to make it or to my daughter being sick. The worst one was my daughter having this unexplainable rash that they said was caused by teething, but being a father of other kids, I know that a rash does not extend to the point where the sores are bleeding. Also, on my past visit, I was told that my daughter threw herself down, which to me makes no sense, with my daughter having a bruise in between the center of her forehead, between her eyes and above her nose. That was my biggest concern, because not only if a child fell forward, he or she would also hit her nose at the same time, not just one center part of her forehead. And they told me that she threw herself backwards in the crib. And I addressed those concerns, and even with the workers here, so they are not being looked at. I've been trying to get help from all over the place for my daughter being returned. So once again, I was told by the social worker, yes, I am considered the parent in Saskatchewan, but because I'm here in British Columbia, I am considered not the parent, which to me makes no sense. And now that I'll be going to court, they'll be fighting for her to stay here for 3 months. And I've been trying for the past 6 weeks for my daughter to be returned home. I have the people that I thought that would support me and help me bring my daughter home are not even returning my calls anymore. I've been told from the social worker here that she and the other workers back home and the baby's mom all had been coagulating with each other even before the apprehension. Now it's either I be here for court for my daughter or be back in Saskatchewan for court. And I've been under the impression that if I do leave from here, they'll tell me that I just abandoned my daughter here in British Columbia. And if I do go to Saskatchewan, then I'm also in the same predicament. Whereas it's a lose-lose case for me in regards to my daughter. I've been asking for so much help from all over the place and been getting denied. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm a First Nations with my child or because I'm a male taking care of my daughter who is only 7 months old. Nobody has seen what I've seen my daughter going through in the past 6 weeks, and nothing has been done or nothing has been addressed. Not even the acknowledgement of my child being returned back home to Saskatchewan with foster parents. It just comes to show you that I've been going through this system and knowing that I'm going to lose my daughter even longer. There's no explanation that my feelings that I can say to you to let you know what I'm feeling. Neither can my daughter. My daughter was a healthy baby before she went into this foster system here. They have changed everything, her pampers, her milk, her eating habits, and they say they have to meet the foster parents' requirements, not the child's. I just don't know what else to say. It's so hard. Knowing that I'm a First Nations member and my child has become another statistics for the growing number of Aboriginal children here in Canada for I don't know, the better funding for the government, and the discrimination is there. I just don't know what to say. I have a lawyer here that's only met on one occasion in the past 6 weeks, and that was for the adjournment of our first court date. I have not met him in person after this, and I have another court hearing here in 5 days. Besides a handful of emails, which in his statement, he wanted me to make sure that I gave my information into legal aid for him to get paid for his services. And then another email was just to confirm our next court date. I have tried phoning him numerous times and I've got no call back from him. The social worker demanding me to speak to her even before I get my next visits, which is unprofessional. I told her that any time of the day and week would work for me to even be seeing my daughter. I don't know what else to say. It's so disgusting, and thank the BC Ministry for kidnapping my child and keeping her when there is a family waiting back home for her. And would also like to thank the organizations back home for not caring and not fighting enough for my daughter to be returned back to that foster home.